A sense of urgency had taken hold of him, and Petru Chioban had learned over the endless centuries never to ignore those warning signs of impending danger. Once again he had awakened early, before the sun had set, leaving him locked in the earth, paralyzed and unable to rise, when every single cell in him demanded he streak toward his destination before it was too late. Already he knew there had been delaying tactics, useless battles, sacrificial pawns thrown in his way in an effort to prevent him from reaching Delis and his life-mate. She was the target. He was certain of it now. That certainty had been growing in him from the moment he set out toward Algeria. He was Carpathian, a race near extinction, powerful and yet vulnerable, existing on the blood of others, sleeping beneath the ground during the day, considered powerless against their enemies at that time. He was one of the oldest in existence, never a good thing, having lost his ability to see in color or feel emotion after his 50th year, when he was still considered a child. As time passed, and he relentlessly hunted vampires century after century, even the whispers of temptation to kill while feeding faded until there was nothing at all. He had grown more dangerous than the vampires he hunted. He'd held on to honor, the code he had scarred into his skin for her, his life-mate. She held his soul, such as it was, and she was alive in this century. He had searched for over 2,000 years for her, and now that she was close, enemies had risen in an effort to keep him from reaching her. Petru knew his life-mate was alive because twice now 2 women he trusted had read from ancient tarot cards. Alive and well in the century with him, danger surrounding him, betrayal, a terrible sacrifice. That had been the first reading by Adelesia, Sandu's life-mate. Danger nearly always surrounded him. He only cared that his life-mate was alive and in the same century with him. The second reading had been given by Vasilisa, Siv's life-mate, and that reading had been more in-depth. There was transition, moving from one situation to another, hopefully a better one. Not surprisingly, she had predicted action and, again, danger. She had also predicted that the love connection with his life-mate would be successful. He wouldn't allow anything less. He'd waited centuries for her. He'd locked himself away from the population to keep them safe. It had been the last part of the reading that had been the most valuable to him. She had asked him if he had scars from a particular battle. She told him those scars were a map. That battle, those scars, show you the way. His heart, a dead stone in his chest, had reacted to her revelations. Carpathians rarely scarred, only if the wounds they acquired had been mortal, ones that should have killed them. He had a road map of scars on his body, evidence that he had come very close to succumbing to deadly wounds. The strange thing was, the battle was such a distant memory, he couldn't recall it. There had been so many over the centuries, so many times he'd gone to ground for indefinite lengths of time to heal. One didn't measure time.